Alright, I'm out today on my very own personal bike. It's a 2018 Yamaha Niken. I picked this bike up used in 2022, right about when COVID ended and the borders reopened. Since then I've put on maybe about 25,000 Ks on the bike. Mixture of daily riding, grocery shopping, commuting, road trips into Johor, and a few multiple day trips to northern Malaysia, and I think 3 trips to Thailand, right up north to Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. So I've put many miles on this bike and have had plenty of good times. But today I just want to talk about the reasons why I decided to buy a Yamaha Niken back in 2022. The first reason is that I actually like the looks of this bike. I know that can seem controversial and sound shocking, but it is the honest truth. I actually think this is a good looking motorcycle. It's not as pretty as an MV Agusta F4, obviously, but then again, which bike is? The Niken looks good in its own way. It looks distinctive, it's got its own style, and it definitely has plenty of presence. I, for one, think Yamaha designers did a very good job on the Niken. Mind you, they didn't really have a lot of inspiration to draw from. There aren't that many leaning three-wheelers out there in the market. So overall, aesthetically, I think they did a really good job with the Niken. The way that front end fairing blends in nicely with the bodywork and the fuel tank. It's got really sculpted lines, and I thought that it was cool. But it wasn't just aesthetically interesting, it is also interesting from a mechanical standpoint. The front end of the Niken, there's nothing like it. 2 front wheels offset to the left and right, each attached to 2 forks via a series of linkages. The whole system works like a pivoting parallelogram, if that makes any sense. That design allows both wheels to lean left and right, and I just love the way it looks. I mean, I've always been interested in unusual looking designs, oddball bikes, things like the Yamaha GTS or the Bimota Tessie. I've always been fascinated by their steering systems, the hub center steering on those bikes. But I think the Niken takes that to an even higher level, to an even bigger extreme. Yamaha call it a leaning multi-wheel. And basically what they've done is to create a design, create a machine that leans, steers and handles like a motorcycle, and then give it 80% more grip. Now just think about that for a moment. 80% more grip is a very, very big deal. In the dry, I like 80% more grip. In the wet, I especially like 80% more grip. And when road conditions turn to shit, when there's oil or diesel, sand or gravel on the road, 80% more grip is a very, very, very good thing to have. In fact, I can't think of any situation or circumstance that I'd be riding into where having 80% more grip is not a good thing. So as far as the design is concerned, as far as the benefits of the leaning multi-wheel, I'm completely sold on it. You see, it's not just the safety aspect of having 80% more grip. Right, on a practical level, it means that if you're riding normally down your favorite route, having 80% more grip means a larger margin of safety. So you're even less likely to lose the front end. But there's also a performance component, in the sense that since now you're riding at the same pace, but you have a much higher margin of safety, theoretically it does mean you can afford to push a bit harder, brake a little later, turn in a little quicker, accelerate a little faster midway and through the corner. So this performance potential of the leaning multi-wheel was something I found very exciting. And after years of riding the same kind of motorcycles, the prospect of being able to try something really new, really different, is something that I really look forward to. And when it comes to different, things don't get very much different than this Niken, that's for sure. But more than the aesthetics and the technology, I think it's the overall package of the Niken. First off, it's got great upright ergonomics. It's all day comfortable. It's comfortable for a passenger as well. Although, to be honest, that really wasn't a concern when I bought the bike. It's just something I discovered a bit later. It's also pretty good with luggage. Both GV and SW Motec make pannier systems that allow you to attach panniers and a rear top box. So no problems there as well. The bike also uses that MT-09 engine. So no issues with reliability. The engine is definitely a proven item, nothing to worry about. But mostly the bike ticks all the boxes on my list when it comes to the ideal sports tourer, or my definition of the ideal sports tourer. I've done sports touring on sports touring bikes like the ZX14 and the VFR 800 Cross Runner, both of which I've owned in the past. Both great bikes. But for the kind of riding that I want to do, the Niken is the most interesting, exciting and engaging bike for the job. B roads, lots of corners, lots of turns, as little highway as possible. And of course, since I usually ride alone, having an extra margin of safety, that's always nice to have. Having a bike with much more grip than a normal motorcycle, who can complain about that? But the idea of a safer bike and a bike that's also more fun in the corners, I think that's an unbeatable combination. Apart from the weight, I don't really have any complaints about the bike. Maybe I'll do a separate video and I'll talk about that issue. But that's my primary gripe with the bike. It's just a wee bit heavy. But from a performance standpoint, from a comfort standpoint, from a sports touring standpoint, this bike hasn't disappointed at all, not one bit. I've enjoyed every moment I've spent on this bike, and every time I get on the bike, I still look forward to riding it. In fact, I'm planning another trip up to Thailand next month. Another 7,000 km round trip. So looking forward to that. Anyway, hope this has been helpful, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.